to our channel. We're the Choose here from Choose to Explore, where we teach you guys how to see the world
and save $1.
So we just had an amazing time in none other than Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. And we did so much that we want to share with you guys.
So in this video, we're giving you our top tips that you need to know before you go to Cabo. Stay tuned.
So the first thing we're going to talk about is, where is Cabo San Lucas? So this is actually our third time in Mexico. Prior to this trip, we've been to Cancun, Tulum, Playa del Carmen. We also have been to Mexico City, so we're super excited to tell you guys about Cabo San Lucas. Cabo San Lucas is actually on the west coast, and it's on the southernmost tip of the Baja California Peninsula.
So it's actually where the Pacific Ocean meets the Sea of Cortez, which creates those dramatic ocean views and the famous El Arco, but more on that later.
So when most people talk about Los Cabos, they don't actually realize that there's actually two different Cabos. There's actually Cabo San Lucas and San José del Cabo.
And they're about 45 minutes away from each other.
Cabo San Lucas is where most people come and they vacation. This is where you would see your luxury resorts, tourists.
I want a drink! Welcome to Cabo, baby!
And huge expat community.
And it has a lively marina and lots of nightlife.
But only about 45 minutes away is San José del Cabo.
So one thing to know about Los Cabos is that Cabo San Lucas is actually an hour and 45 minutes away from the airport, whereas San José del Cabo is only about 30 minutes away from the airport. Now, San José del Cabo is actually more so known for its laid-back vibe, local culture, and art scene.
Now this area is a lot quieter, and depending on the vibe that you're going for on your trip, you can pick either one.
Or split your time between both. So now let's get into when is the best time to visit Cabo. So that really depends on what you're looking for.
Now each season is going to have something unique to it that will make it worth your while to visit. One thing to know about Cabo is the weather is pretty warm year-round. Depending on the time that you go, the temperature varies between around 75 degrees to about 95 degrees. So you choose your hot.
So from December to April, it's peak season, and it's a great time for whale watching, especially in January.
Our good friends at the Honeymooners Club just visited Cabo, and they saw a bunch of whales literally right from their resort. So if that's something on your bucket list, which it should be, you should go around this time.
But just be aware that during this high season, it's a very popular time for people to go, so expect crowds as well as higher prices. So from May to June, as well as October and November, these are your shoulder seasons. So you're going to have lower prices, and you also avoid hurricane season as well.
And July to September is going to be low season. That's actually when we visited, and we didn't regret it at all. It's definitely hotter during this time, but one of the highlights of our trip was seeing the sea turtles hatch and being released on the beach. Truly an amazing bucket list experience.
We also saw a ton of manta rays, which was really cool as well.
I didn't know that manta rays could actually jump out of the water, so it was crazy. They were like showing off over here.
So now let's talk about the entry requirements. So as a U.S. citizen, you will need a valid passport, as well as you will need to fill out a Mexico tourist card, which you can do online. It's very simple, very easy process, and it's free.
We didn't actually do it online. We flew with American Airlines, and on the plane they gave us a little sheet that we filled out, and also in the airport they gave it to us to fill out as well.
So it's a very simple and easy process, whether you do it online or in person. And we have the link to complete it online in the description below. So now let's get into where you're going to stay when you visit Los Cabos.
So as we mentioned, there are two different regions of Los Cabos, and depending on the vibe that you're going for will dictate the accommodation that you get. One thing that I love about Los Cabos is they have something for almost any budget. They have supreme luxury hotels, and they also have low-cost accommodations as well.
So for instance, we started at a low-cost local accommodation, and it was only about $38 a night.
So our accommodation was located in walking distance of the downtown and the marina area in Cabo San Lucas. There were a plethora of local accommodations there. And to finish our stay, we actually spent 2 nights at the world famous Waldorf Astoria Pedregal, which is one of the highest rated hotels on this side of the world.
So this was an incredible, luxurious experience, and luxury comes with high price tags typically, but I actually included in my blog post everything that we did to be able to afford this and make this more affordable for our budget. So check that out.
Now the Waldorf Astoria Pedregal has so much to offer. We had 24-hour butler service. We got our own bottle of Waldorf Astoria Special Edition Clase Azul. The hotel is actually built up into the rocks, so it has amazing views. And from our hotel, they actually included these binoculars that you could actually look out, and I saw the manta rays from there. And if we went during the whale watching season, you could see them from the hotel as well. And they also have 2 restaurants on the property. The first one is El Farallon, which is one of the highest rated restaurants in all of Mexico. It has amazing views, but bring your wallet because it is expensive. And the other one being Don Manuel, which was also really good food. A cheaper option, but amazing quality and great eats.
So one resource that we use that really helped us save money on accommodations in Cabo and pretty much everywhere that we travel is Plannin.com. So it's a free site where you can find exclusive hotel discounts and get personal recommendations from other travelers who've been to places you're visiting. What we love is that it's not just another booking site. It actually connects you with real experiences and advice, so you know what to expect before you book.
And it's not just accommodations, you also can book experiences and activities there as well.
And you can sign up for free by using the QR code that's on the screen, as well as the link in the description below, and you'll have access to lots of discounts worldwide.
We've used Plannin on a bunch of trips and it's definitely saved us a lot of money. So if you want to see the world and save $1, check it out.
Yes. Now if this video has been helpful so far, just give it a like and be sure to be subscribed to this channel.
The next thing that we're going to talk about is a pretty surprising thing in Los Cabos. So I was thinking we're going to Mexico, it's a beachy vacation, we're going to spend the whole time swimming in the ocean, laying on the beach. But I was really surprised that a lot of the beaches you actually cannot swim in Los Cabos.
So you actually can't swim in a lot of beaches in Los Cabos because of the strong undercurrents as well as the steep drop-off that's really close to the shore at some of these beaches. And surprisingly, even some of the beachfront hotels have beaches that you can't swim in. However, there are some beaches that you can swim in, and I'm going to tell you all about them. So the first one is Medano Beach, which is actually the most popular one, although I wouldn't say it's the best one.
This beach is pretty central to Cabo San Lucas, and it's right there near the marina. So this beach is going to be the most crowded beach. There's a lot of locals who are going around selling things. You can get massages on the beach. You can buy almost anything. We got people trying to sell us guacamole smashers, souvenirs, bracelets, get our hair braided, anything here.
Yes, and they're all very polite too. But again, if you're not looking for a lot of interaction, this may not be the beach for you.
Also, there's a lot of beach clubs, and this is going to be a very active and lively beach as well.
And the most unique beach that we visited was Chileno Beach because there were so many incredible fish that you could see right there at the shore, and it was so incredible to swim with them.
Because this beach was so amazing during our trip, we actually visited 2 times, and in both times we had a different experience. So the first time we went early in the morning, and there weren't a ton of people, but still there was a good amount of people. But the fish were literally right there on the shore of the beach. I've never seen that before, and we've been to so many different beaches around the world. Now we came later on in the day for the sunset, and for some reason there were no fish at the beach.
I mean, there were a bunch of people, so I'm sure the fish don't really like crowds, I guess.
It also could be due to the tide, but maybe we just got lucky, but I'll tell you, Chileno Beach was my favorite beach by far in Cabo.
So something important is to look at the flags on the beach that will tell you whether or not it's safe to get in, as well as other important things like if there's a lot of jellyfish around, so don't ignore those flags. So we only mentioned these 2 swimmable beaches in Los Cabos, but there's a lot more swimmable beaches that we visited while we were there, and I have an entire article on choosetoexplore.com where you can see all the details on how to visit them, so check that out before your trip. So now let's get into the things to do in Los Cabos. So first and foremost, the Sea of Cortez has been nicknamed the aquarium of the world. So just imagine all the great snorkeling that you can do here.
As we mentioned, just by looking out from our hotel, we were able to spot so many different marine life. We're talking about whales, manta rays, stingrays, sea turtles, jellyfish, and so many different varieties of fish. So if you're into scuba diving and snorkeling, this is one of the most amazing places to visit in the world. Also, the most visited tourist attraction, and when people think about Cabo, they think about El Arco. Now, El Arco is a beautiful place to see and visit. From Medano Beach, you can actually look out and see the arches, but it's best to see it on a boat tour going to the arch. And being that this is the biggest tourist attraction, pretty much all the tour companies run this tour. So we went during low season, and maybe that's why a lot of people just came up and asked us, do we want to do the tour? And a lot of the people that were talking to us, the price was negotiable. To do the specific tour that we did for under $20 per person, you can see that linked in the description below. But this was amazing to see. And also the tour that we did actually included a stop at the beach that is another swimmable beach. It also saw a lot of the marine life, and we highly recommend this tour.
So other popular activities that people do when they come to Los Cabos include going to the desert and doing sandboarding, as well as riding dune buggies and camel riding as well.
We actually didn't do these because we have done these experiences in other places in the world and for a lot cheaper than it is in Cabo San Lucas. The next thing that we're going to talk about is money in Los Cabos.
So the official currency is the Mexican peso.
But in our experience, almost everybody accepted the US dollar. But they usually have two rates. They have a US dollar rate and a Mexican peso rate. And if you want to see the world and save a dollar and get a cheaper rate, get the Mexican peso and pay in the Mexican peso. Also, a lot of the places that we saw accepted cards. Just be sure to have a credit card that has no foreign transaction fees. Otherwise, you're wasting money there as well. And if you're interested in our personal recommendations for the best credit cards for travel, my wife actually made an amazing article on choosetoexplore.com. So check that out.
So now I want to talk about how expensive is Los Cabos.
So in our experience in Cabo San Lucas, Cabo is expensive. Honestly, being in Cabo, it didn't even feel like we really left the United States. There was a lot of foreigners and travelers here, and the prices definitely reflected that. A lot of the resorts are over $1,000 a night. There are some local restaurants where the prices are low. As we stated, we've been to Tulum, Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Mexico City, but Cabo has the most expensive prices that we've seen in Mexico. And if you want to see a video of the cost of everything that we ate, where we stayed, what we did, check that video out in the description below.
So the next thing we're going to talk about is staying connected while you're in Mexico.
One way that we stayed connected in Mexico as well as all around the world is with HolaFly. Now HolaFly is a travel eSIM that gives you unlimited data all around the world at an affordable rate. If you are interested, you can see that linked in the description below.
And if you use our code CHOOSE2EXPLORE, you'll get 5% off of your plan. Now let's get into communication. So the official language in Mexico is Spanish, but a lot of times in a lot of places, especially resorts, they're going to be speaking English. However, if you come out of your resort bubble, a lot of times there are people who are more comfortable speaking Spanish, of course.
My wife and I are both conversational in Spanish, and usually when we travel to Spanish-speaking countries, we prefer to use Spanish to get more of a local feel. On one of our tours, the tour guide spoke English, but he definitely was more comfortable speaking Spanish.
So it was nice to be able to speak both languages, and if you know some Spanish, it goes a long way.
Our next topic is going to be about Mexican cuisine. So if you know anything about Mexico, you know about their amazing cuisine. And Los Cabos is no different.
So of course you gotta try the tacos. You can have fish, shrimp, chicken, carne asada, beef, even vegetarian tacos. You gotta try them all. Also try the ceviche. It's really fresh and made with local seafood. I also love a good enchilada.
I'm a pretty adventurous eater, and when I was eating at El Farallon at Waldorf Astoria Pedregal, the server told me about a local fish called totuaba. Now totuaba is a unique fish that only resides in this region of the world, right at the Sea of Cortez. So if you do have an option to try this local fish, check it out.
Alright, and I have to mention Tropical Kitchen, which was my absolute favorite restaurant that I ate at when I was in Los Cabos.
When she says she ate at it, every single morning for 3 straight mornings, we ate at Tropical Kitchen.
Yes, and I still think about it every single morning to this day. I actually would go back to Cabo just to eat there. It was incredible ambiance, friendly owners of the restaurant, and also the food was just top tier. It was so flavorful and so many incredible options, even some that weren't vegan and vegetarian as well, but it's where you need to go.
Honestly, I went there for the vibes. They played really good music. The owners and their kids were at the restaurant, and they were so kind and so nice to us. So I would just go, and if you see them, mention us from Choose to Explore to them.
Yes, it's a must visit. So how do you get around Los Cabos? For us, we found that renting a car was the most easy and convenient way to get around. The streets are really well paved, and it was not even a problem to drive at all.
One thing to note about Mexico is that there is a mandatory rental car insurance, and a lot of the really cheap rental cars don't include that. So you may see a really good rate for like $5, $6, but it doesn't include the mandatory rental car insurance. And this one you cannot deny. It's mandatory from the Mexican government. So just be mindful or talk to the rental car company before just to have an accurate price in mind for your stay.
So another way to get around is by using Uber. So they're pretty affordable as well, only about like $5 per ride. However, keep in mind that if you are staying in a resort, you may have to go outside of your resort in order for the Uber to come and pick you up. Also, the Ubers are not allowed to pick you up from the airport, so you may need to reach a different spot outside of the airport before calling your Uber, which would be a more affordable option for you.
But especially if you're staying in Cabo San Lucas, remember that it's about an hour and a half away. So that taxi ride is going to be very expensive. We got quoted over $150 for a one-way from the airport to our hotel. This was actually more expensive than 4 days in our rental car.
Which is one of the reasons why renting a car was the best option for us.
Now, if you are not a confident driver and you don't want to pay that $200 taxi from the airport, there are the big purple buses that can take you from the airport all the way to Cabo and also San José del Cabo. But they make a lot of stops and they take a lot of time as well. So just keep that in mind. If you have more time than you have money, you could do that.
So lastly, let's go into safety in Los Cabos. So Cabo is generally safe for tourists and popular tourist areas and resorts. But like with most places that you visit, you should always be aware of your surroundings and avoid any isolated areas. Also, be mindful of petty theft, especially in crowded areas.
Typically, when my wife and I travel, we keep nothing in our back pockets, and all our bags are going to be on our front, being our crossbody bags. But you could never expect the unexpected, and that's how we travel with SafetyWing Travel Medical Insurance. The thing that I love about SafetyWing is just how affordable it is. If you're under the age of 40, you can typically get plans for under $2 a day depending on how long you're staying. And SafetyWing covers so much, from lost baggage, missed flights, medical emergencies. You don't want to get caught slipping without SafetyWing.
It's one of those things that you hope you won't need, but it's good to have just in case. So if you're traveling soon and you're interested in SafetyWing Travel Medical Insurance, just use our link that's in the description below.
And there you guys have it, everything you need to know before you go to Los Cabos. Thank you guys so much for checking out our channel. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.